So one thing I realized is that when I was younger and I was just going through my phase of going through high school, right? Everybody at the time was doing a little mix of both. There was a little bit of vaping, there was a little bit of nicotine usage in terms of cigarettes, dipping, whatever the case was. People were getting their fix in, right? And I remember at this point in my life, at least the crowd that I hung around with, we did not vape. Nobody in my circle was vaping. Everybody smoked cigarettes, Black and Milds, which are fucking nasty, I know. But that's what we were doing. Nobody was really vaping. There was maybe a very small group of kids that were actually vaping. And this was like early 2015, maybe 2016, when I was going through my freshman year of high school. And we just didn't really see vaping as a thing in my group. We just saw it as, hey, why the fuck would you go puff on technology when you could just go buy a cigarette? So that's what I was introduced to. Started with cigarettes, and I would just buy maybe a pack every other week. Sometimes I'd buy a pack once a month, and it was super doable. Like the addiction to nicotine for me at that point in time was very, very controllable, because if you think about it, with a cigarette, you can't really smoke a cigarette inside of a building. If it was the 60s, the 70s, or earlier, yeah, sure, you can get away with it because it was accepted. But at this point, you could not smoke a cigarette. Even like you had to be, I think it was maybe 200 feet away from the school that I went to, or maybe 100, to be able to smoke a cigarette. So really being able to smoke was actually a task. Like you had to wait, or you had to go somewhere secluded to be able to just light up a bogey. Like you couldn't just do it anywhere at any time. And then I remember at some point down the line, fast forward to like 2017, 2018, I'm coming up on graduation year. All of a sudden they start pushing these anti-smoking campaigns hard as fuck. So they're saying out with the old, in with the new. We're getting rid of cigarettes. We're done. Cigarettes are cooked. We're done. We're now going to vaping, right? Vaping is the new wave. It's just the new way to kick your addiction and to be able to actually take control of what's been fucking holding you back, and that's smoking. So then you think to yourself, you're like, okay, well, maybe this is the new way. This is how I can get rid of all of this. I can get my lung capacity back. I can stop fucking wheezing and getting out of breath over just minor things like walking up a hill or fucking riding a bike. So I'm gonna try going towards vaping, right? So at this particular time, none of us were really thinking that way. We were all still smoking cigarettes. None of us were really buying into the whole quit nicotine campaign and the whole you should just vape and get rid of your pack of cigarettes campaign. We just did not fall into that. And then I remember walking through school and seeing people do the little sleeve trick. I'm pretty sure people know what I'm talking about, where you wear a long sleeve shirt or a hoodie and you tuck the vape into one of your sleeves and you sit there like you're pondering something, or like you're just bored with your hand right underneath your chin, and you just slide that vape up and you just take a rip and then slide it back into your sleeve, almost like a magician, right? I was seeing kids in class do this and I was like, what are they doing? Because at first the vapes were big. Like a lot of the times, anytime I saw a vape in school, it was some dude just fucking chucking a douche flute and just blowing a cumulonimbus cloud right out into the fucking hallway. That's typically what I would see. And mind you, if you did something like that in the school that I went to, you were ultra fucked. If somebody caught you, somebody snitched, a teacher that cared, or a principal, and pretty much all of them fucking gave a fuck, because those teachers were paid out the ass. But the thing is that if you got caught, you were going up against the board and you were more than likely going to get expelled, and at a minimum you were going to get out of school suspension for possibly a month or more. And I'm being real about this because I've seen it happen. And then they came out with the little sleek vapes, and I saw everybody doing that, and I was like, so instead of me having to go walk away from school or go hide behind some bush or wherever to go smoke a bogey real quick or a cigarette, I can instead just get one of these little vapes, which at the time were Juuls, right? I didn't know what they were at this very moment, but they were Juuls. And I was like, and I can just do that. And I remember smelling it in the classroom after somebody would try to ghost one and it didn't really work, so they'd blow it out and I'd be sitting near them and I would just smell like intense mango. And I was like, damn, that smells so good. Like, compared to this nasty ass cigarette that does not smell good, but at that point in my life, like, it didn't really taste that bad. I didn't mind the taste. I just didn't like the lingering smell. But I was like, that actually smells really good. Like, I can get behind that. That's something that I think I would like. So I remember one of the kids, his name was Travis, tapped on his shirt, and I was like, hey, buddy, so what's going on? Like, what do you have in your sleeve? And he said, it's a Juul, it's nicotine, it's salt nic. Or I believe that's what Juuls were. They were salt nic or whatever. So I wound up taking a rip, and it transformed me. At that very point in my life, I was transformed and I was fucking hooked. Because I was like, wow, this is fucking nice. So instead of having to go walk away, hide somewhere to be able to smoke one cigarette or maybe two, I can just sit there all through class and just hit this vape stick. I can go to the bathroom and rip it in the bathroom. And then I realized maybe about a month or two later, going to the bathroom in school, it was literally a fucking haze. Like, I shit you not, people were vaping like constant in the bathroom and just passing it around. There'd be like 5 to 10 people in the bathroom just vaping. And it wasn't like that a month or two prior. And this was all when Juuls really started hitting the scene hard. And I realized me and my whole friend group, nobody was really buying into vaping still. I was the only one at this point that went from cigarettes to vaping. And honestly, I lost. Like, among my friend group, a good majority of them just stopped after cigarettes. After they got out of high school, they were done with cigarettes, done with Black and Milds, done with whatever nasty shit we were smoking, and just didn't look back. And then a very small few of us, maybe 2 or 3 of my other friends, stuck with vaping or went to vaping. Because before then, we all kind of thought it was sus to vape. We just didn't really know what was going on with it. It was just weird because you look at it and it's a liquid and you really don't know what's inside that liquid or what they're trying to put in there to keep you more addicted and what can really fuck you up in the end. So a lot of people in my friend group were kind of steered away by it and they didn't really want to touch it. But me and a couple of my friends, we we didn't really care. I mean, everybody seemed like they were doing it and doing just fine at that particular time. So we gave in and started buying all the Juul pods, the mango ones, the blueberry ones, just all of them. And then what ends up happening? Juul pods get phased out, right? Eventually, at least in my city, there was a major crackdown and they stopped doing flavored Juul pods because they realized it was a fucking issue in the schools. People were vaping like constant and they were constantly catching people with tons of contraband, and they realized, okay, this must be a problem and this is what's keeping kids addicted and adults addicted. But they were mainly focused on the kids, right? So what they did was they cut out all the flavored Juul pods, and then what ends up happening is now you got puff bars, you got bitty sticks, you got all these different kinds of off variant vapes that are not rechargeable at this point. So we didn't get to that point yet because that's when things get real accelerated. So then now you have puff bars, right? So I remember once they phased out the Juul pods and all I could find were the menthol and the tobacco flavored, I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, this is ass. And I remember at that particular time, that was probably the closest I came to quitting nicotine because I didn't want to keep buying tobacco or menthol flavored anymore. It tasted nasty and I didn't want to go back to cigarettes. So at that point, I wasn't too deep in the addiction to where I couldn't just quit. So that's kind of what I did. And then what ends up happening is I wind up driving past a vape shop and I see a sign on the door of the vape shop that says puff bars. And I was like, what the fuck is a puff bar? So me and my mentality, I'm curious and I want to know what this is. At this point, I'm already out of school and I'm already a couple of months clean from nicotine. And I relapse. I go back into that store, ask the guy what puff bars are, he shows me, and now I'm fucking hooked on puff bars. Bought my first pack of puff bars and just didn't look back. And then after that point, it just got even worse because now I joined the military and everybody is vaping. At a minimum, people are doing dip or they're doing pouches, whatever the case is, everybody's using nicotine. And it was basically just accepted. It really was. And it's crazy because in high school, I thought it would have been worse at that point, but it was way, way worse once I got into the military. So me and all my friends at the time were vaping like constant. So I found myself vaping more and more than I ever did before, and it started to have an effect on my lungs, like a real bad effect. I realized that I had this perpetual cough and clearing my throat all the time. And I remember my one friend who was about getting ready to kick vaping, he looked over at me and he was like, dude, you need to go see a doctor. He was like, that shit that you're doing, that weird throat clearing thing that you're constantly doing. He's like, bro, I love you as a friend. He's like, I've known you for about 2 years at this point. Last year, you did not have that problem. He's like, but now you do it all the time. He was like, dude, you need to kick that. And you would have thought that that would have been my wake-up call to quit. That would have been my stopping point. No, it was not. Instead, what I did was I just ignored it and I just continued to vape because I didn't care. I liked the fact that I was able to get my fix whenever I needed it. And I could do it anywhere, anytime. And I just had no plans of stopping. It didn't matter that it was impacting my ability to do things that I love, like surf, bike, run, go to the gym, walk up 10 flights of stairs without getting out of breath and holding on to the railing for dear life. Like, I shit you not, at that point in my life, if I had to go up 10, 20 flights of stairs, by the last couple of steps up the last set of stairs, I was practically holding on to the railing, gasping for air. Like, I was having some serious lung issues, and it's crazy because I just could not get away from it. And at this point in time, we were done with puff bars. Puff bars were just out of the picture. Bitty sticks were pretty much out of the picture. And now we were on elf bars, and I'm pretty sure Geek Bars were also becoming a thing at this point. So I was buying into both. And I realized that one of the days I went to go surfing, right? I love to surf. It is one of my favorite things to do. And I was out there on this particular day, and a big set rolls in. What a set is just basically a big wave. It's just a part of the day, part of the session. So a set rolls in. And this wave is probably about 10 to 15 feet high. So it's a pretty big wave, pretty decent size. And I get absolutely destroyed by this wave. I just get dropped right on my fucking head. I'm underwater for like 10 to 15 seconds. I don't know which way is up and down. And I finally get up out of the water, and I'm about to black out. The sky is literally pitch black, and there are a bunch of white stars everywhere. And then what happens after that? A shadow gets casted over me, and I get fucking slammed again by another huge set. And this happened about 3 or 4 times. And by the end of it, I basically went unconscious. Basically, like probably for about 5 or 10 seconds, I blacked out. I can't remember what happened. All I remember is that my friend was grabbing me up by my arm, and I was halfway in and out of the water, and I was choking on water. And basically what ended up happening was I just lost all oxygen, and my brain pretty much just shut down for 5 to 10 seconds. And that was really my fucking wake-up call, because I was like, holy shit. I remember not even a year or two ago, I could have handled something like that with ease. I mean, yeah, it would have been difficult, right? Like, you're being held underwater for long periods of time. Of course it's hard, but it's something that I would have been able to handle. And the fact that I couldn't handle it anymore really made me realize how damaging this shit was to my body. So from that day forward, I pretty much just stopped cold turkey. And I know it's so hard to do. It really, really is. And it fucking killed me mentally to not smoke. It really did. I remember on my way back, me and my friend went back to the car, kind of sat down for like 15, 20 minutes and really reflected on my life decisions from high school all the way up till that point. And I was like, this shit's gotta stop. Like, it's gotta fucking stop. So what I did was we were driving back and we were going over the bridge, and I just took that fucking piece of technology and chucked it straight out my window and just kept going, and I never looked back. I ignored all the vape shops. I knew exactly where they all were. So anytime I'd pass one, I would just keep my eyes straight and do everything to not look at the vape shop, because I know if I looked over at it, there was a good chance I was going to try to do a U-turn or turn off into that vape shop to go buy another. So from that point forward, I ignored all the vape shops. people that were vaping around me, anytime they brought it out or had it in their hand, I'd walk away. It was awkward a couple of times because people were like, why the fuck is he just walking away? They thought it was a little bit weird, but fuck them. I don't care. I wanted to quit. So I walked away from everybody that was doing it. I ignored all the signs that I would see on the side of the road pointing to a vape shop, basically screaming at me, come here to feed your fucking addiction. And I just went celibate from all nicotine for probably 3 or 4 months. And then I would say after 3 to 4 months, the first month was absolute hell. I mean, withdrawals out the ass. But after that 3 to 4 month period, I was good. And I realized that when my friend Brandon was smoking, because we went outside and he was sitting there hitting a vape. And at this point, it didn't really bother me if somebody was hitting a vape around me. I didn't feel the urge to hit it. And I remember that day, I was super stressed about work because I got laid into. It was a long story. And I just remember sitting outside talking to him, and he was like, hey man, you look like you need a hit. And I said no. And I was just, and what I'm trying to say, and what the premises and the basis of this entire rant is, and this whole story about how fucked nicotine is and how the company's got a death grip on everybody, is that you can quit. You really, really can. Don't wait like I did until a potential life-threatening situation puts you in the mindset and gives you the motivation and drive to actually put the fucking technology stick down and stop being a slave. Just fucking do it. I'm telling you, just take whatever vape you have, Zyn pouches, anything, cigarettes, crush that shit up, throw it in the garbage. Don't even put it in the garbage, actually, because you could probably just go out and fish it out if you're really fiending. But go put it somewhere far away, far out of reach where you won't be able to get it back. And then just do everything to ignore all the signs trying to get you to go back and buy another. Ignore the vape shops. If people around you are smoking, just walk away. Just politely say to them, hey, no offense, I'm trying to quit, so I just don't want to be around this right now. I'm just going to step away. Just come get me when you're done. That's what I started doing. I'm telling you, it will change you. It's going to be hard as fuck. It's going to be really fucking hard. You're going to be going up a super steep mountain trying to get to that point of freedom of not being a slave to the tobacco industry anymore. But I'm telling you, once you reach that flagpole, once you're at the summit, life is so much better. Get your lung capacity back. You can actually breathe. You're not sitting there sniffling all the time and coughing, and you just feel better. I'm telling you, best decision I've ever made for myself and for my family, so I can hopefully live a bit longer with whatever damage I already did. So that's my story to you guys, and that's my little rant. I know a lot of you guys will probably be able to relate to this, unfortunately, because it's a serious issue today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.